Welcome to CTV News Trendline with Michael Stittle and Nick Nanos.
You are tracking the issues of concern for Canadians, and before we leave off for the summer, I'm curious where we stand.
Well, we know that jobs in the economy and healthcare are always top issues, but I wanted to do a spotlight on the environment. We've had these fires, fires in northern Quebec. There's a fire in Nova Scotia, fires in the West. It's like our country's on fire, So it's interesting. I wanted to take a look at the long-term trend line on the proportion of Canadians who identify environment as their top national issue of concern. So, Michael, check this out. You can see this massive surge, and that's just before the pandemic. And before the pandemic, I thought that in 2020, when we say January, for sure, February 2020, when environment was the top national issue of concern by like a country mile, and it was surging, I thought, hey, maybe 2020 is going to be our year to focus on the environment. And then the pandemic knocked that off. You can see the sharp drop in the first part of 2020 on the proportion of Canadians who identify the environment as an issue. But it's been up and down. But what you can see in the last couple of weeks is starting to climb up with these fires that are happening. And what we know, Michael, for sure, is that these events like the fires and also weather events drive people's worry about the environment. So how about this for a prediction? We're going to see, as long as these fires continue, especially since it affects air quality, right, in parts and right across the country, we're going to see the environment ramp up as one of the top issues this summer, and we're already starting to see the numbers start to rise, and you can see the last part of the trend line sharply increasing in the last couple of weeks.
What does that hold for the future of federal politics in this country? I mean, as the environment becomes a more and more of a critical issue going forward.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think what people are going to want to know are, okay, what are the positions of the different parties, right? Especially the Liberals, the Conservatives, and the New Democrats. And, the Liberals and the New Democrats generally, and the Green Party, of course, are generally perceived as being very much in favor of fighting climate change and stuff like that. I think what they're going to want to hear also from Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives is kind of like, hey, what's your plan on climate change? What do you think about these fires? How does this impact, what your platform would be in the next election, and if you were prime minister, what you would do? So I would hazard to say that maybe this is a bit of a break for the Liberals, because they're going to get hammered on this foreign interference stuff. It doesn't matter how you cut it. It's going to be bad news, because it's just going to be a distraction. Maybe the fires will be an opportunity for the Liberals to say, yeah, this foreign interference stuff is going on and it will run its course, but they want to talk, or will want to talk, about the environment and try to compare and contrast the Liberals against the Conservatives. So how about this for a heads up? Pierre Poilievre, you're going to need to be ready to answer questions on your environmental strategy and what your views are on these fires, and what your plan is for Canada as an alternative to the Liberals, because Canadians are going to want to hear about that.